My clients ask me how often I should be reviewing my offshore planning structure.
Welcome to the golden hour. I usually film outside during the very magic hour of the day. It's usually just before the sun sets. In the golden hour, we discuss all matters that relate to ultra high net worth individuals like you, but UK tax, immigration, onshore and offshore financial structuring. I protect your wealth, business, and family life during times of crisis and times of even greater opportunity.
Hello, my name is Sarah. When you should be reviewing your offshore planning structure, especially if we are talking about wealthy families and family structures that were already prepared for the families who are based overseas. Obviously, one of the big factors would be investing in the UK, another is operating in the UK, and the third is when you choose to relocate. The three triggering factors. When you're investing in the UK, you may be required to create a new offshore family holding structure so that it would be specifically hold your investments that you're making in the UK. It could be attached to your existing family structure, or it could be a completely different vehicle and completely detached from your family structure. Again, it depends on your personal circumstances and what is it you are looking to achieve going forward. Second factor is operating in the UK. Operating in the UK, when you decide to establish a subsidiary or some sort of presence in the UK of your overseas company. There again, you can look at the different ways how you can integrate your existing wealth and to what extent it is necessary to integrate existing wealth structure. And the third factor is obviously relocation. So a lot of times when you relocate, you don't actually realize that you're going to be treated as a tax resident in the UK, and therefore you need to make the necessary steps to protect your overseas assets from UK taxation. And there are a number of different ways to do so. So for instance, also in the relocation and investment scenario, there are a lot of families who already hold investments in the UK and then a family member decides to relocate. So obviously the investment structures that were previously made into the UK need to be reviewed in the view of a family member relocating to the UK. And not the least is actually there were a lot of different changes in UK tax legislation recently, and especially in as much as it affects international families who have investments in UK property, for instance. So in this scenario, you have to be very careful how you go about obtaining your tax advice, because there were a lot of professional firms advising on this specific subject, but they would be advising on one small feature of it. So that means they wouldn't take all your planning considerations into planning strategy, and therefore I would suggest that you choose your advisor very carefully. So you should be looking somebody like myself who has a lot of experience working with ultra high net worth individuals, and ideally if these advisors were in advising families when they were creating fiduciary structures, and also are able to give tax advice. So this is the point of departure that I'm suggesting to you. And my name is Sarah. Fortune craves the bold. Let's grow your worldwide wealth together.